I've screamed, I've raved, I've ranted, I've lectured, I've explained, I've pleaded. But for some reason, people keep leaving comments, sending messages, and trying to rationalize why they're still using tabs. I've done a video. I've explained this thoroughly. I've explained why it's not good. I've talked about it in a number of Metal Base Mondays. I have talked about it in the comments, but it's like trying to mop a floor with a brick. It's just not absorbing, apparently. So I'm going to go through one final time each explanation that I keep getting and rationalization about why people keep telling me they're using tabs or they want to argue the point, and we're going to shred them for all time, and then that's going to be it. Beyond that, I don't know what to say. But tabs suck. Stop it. But Rodney, it's too complicated. Yeah, music's complicated. Playing your instrument is complicated. You do all the other stuff. Plus, if it's so complicated, who do you think the genius is that made the tab you're looking at? I've never understood this mentality. Why, just because you can't see the person who put this thing in print, you automatically credit them with being the all-seeing eye of musical knowledge. They're probably no better than you, and from most tabs I've looked at, they're a hell of a lot worse. Why do you think that that person, putting in more or less time than you're willing to, is suddenly going to get this thing right? They're not. Why do you instantly give this person so much credibility? And yes, it's harming you. I'll get to that point in a minute. But saying it's too complicated, well then maybe this isn't the right pursuit for you. If you don't want to go after the things you really want to learn and put the time into doing it, then it probably just doesn't mean enough to you. I find a lot of the times when people show how much devotion they're willing to put into something or how much work they are willing to do to achieve it, it explains a lot about how serious they really are. It's something to think about. But Rodney, I'm not good enough at it yet. Oh, well then skipping the entire process of learning to transcribe a song is definitely going to make you better then. I find usually avoiding learning a skill is the fast way to achieving a skill. Seriously, you think that because something's too complicated, one day you're eventually going to be able to do something that is complicated by not ever getting good at transcribing things. And I know the rationalization that comes behind this one. Well, I'm going to work on easier stuff, or I'm going to do ear training. The funny thing is, if anybody out there I actually believed was doing ear training or actually going through a course and using tabs at the same time, one, I doubt it. And two, we both know you're not doing it. It's a rationalization you're doing that one day you're going to learn to transcribe or you're going to work on your ear, but it's just for right now. You sound like a drug addict. Well, I just need this one hit to get through the day, man. It's just for right now. I'm totally going to kick it later. Oh yeah, I'll totally be clean in a week. Funny how that guy's always trying to bum $50 from you the week after too, and he just needs one more week. It's just this one situation right now. You're tab addicts. It's time to go cold turkey. This thing is ridiculous. This playing's too hard. You can't expect me to figure it out on my own. Then again, why do you think someone else was capable of it? Basically the same point. Well, then who do you think is out there doing this magic work? There are more resources than ever available to be able to transcribe and figure out songs and do it your damn self. And I've never seen people fight harder not to use them. I'm going to go over a couple of these things and talk about why all these tools should be making you better. But they're freely available and it's easy to do. There really aren't many excuses. Plus, you have YouTube, you know, the thing you're watching this on right now probably, with tons of live performances from that artist where you could watch their hand position, not just learn the notes, but be able to sit there and figure out the methodology of why they play in a certain hand position, exactly why they put two parts together the way they did. An incredible wealth of knowledge. And you're just ignoring it because some doofus that doesn't know any better than you is going to hand you a bunch of material, most of which will be wrong, and you're going to pretend that that's some kind of achievement. Now let's get to the real brass tacks. Tabs aren't just a shortcut. They're a deterioration. Every time you learn something and it's not right and you keep playing it that way, you're making things worse. You're constantly telling your ear and your understanding of relative pitch that it should ignore its own instincts. You probably even know it, but you're just going to play it wrong anyway. Then why bother? Why do the song at all? It's stupid. I think the most ridiculous thing is when I see people who've taken a tab and learned a song through there actually act like they accomplished something. You didn't do anything. You did the ultimate shortcut of what being a musician is, and now you want credit for it. You can't take a box full of disassembled IKEA furniture, slap it all together following the instructions, and then show everybody at the end and go, look, I'm a carpenter now. No, you didn't build a piece of furniture. Somebody else built furniture and disassembled it just enough that you could kind of throw it back together again. You didn't achieve anything. You didn't learn anything. You didn't develop anything. All you did was the worst type of imitation that made you dumber, not smarter. It's not effective in any way. It's not just helping you, it's making it a deficit. Why? Let's go through the reasons. 1, you're never going to get any better doing it. Every time you rely on a tab means you have to rely on a tab the next time and the next time. You only have to get good at transcribing and hearing notes once. Once you're at that level, then it applies to all songs. It's not like you have to go through the process over and over. It's one skill you acquire. So learn to transcribe, develop your ear, and again, easier than ever, but just do it. And then you don't ever need tabs again. But every time you do a tab, you're not only learning stuff I can guarantee wrong 99% of the time, but you're robbing yourself of the experience to move forward. You didn't accomplish anything. All you did was take what somebody else did badly, probably do it even worse, and spit it right back out. That's not an accomplishment. That's pretty lame. Now, the final point is, you should want a feeling of accomplishment by doing this. I mean, where's the reward in it? I know, the instant gratification society that we live in, that anything that takes more than 8 seconds to achieve suddenly has no value. But there's something to be gained, not even just in front of other people, but to yourself, by taking a piece of music and learning it and being able to play it after it and say, I figured this out. Not, I got the tabs. I mean, what is there to brag about after that? Well, I moved my finger where the number was. Great. How many chimps could we train to do this? When you actually can say you did a piece of music that there are no tabs for, or that you found all the stuff that was wrong because you actually spent the time to get into it, that's an accomplishment. Not only have you become better as an artist and you can have pride in that, but you now level up in front of your peers. You'll never get that from tabs. Trust me, it's a great experience. And it's something you can have pride in. And again, every time you do it, you get better and better. It's something that keeps giving back more every time you do it. There is no excuse. You are hurting yourself, you're hurting your ability, and you're trying to get by on the sly. It's cheating off the guy next to you's exam notes and trying to pretend that you passed and got an A. We both know you didn't. You'll always know you didn't. And that's not good for your music. It's not good for yourself. The final point is, excuse time is over. Done. I'm going to go dig a grave and put some kind of gravestone on it just called excuse making for tabs. There's just no reason anymore. The amount of resources you have available to pick things out are more complete than they've ever been. I mean, back in the day, guys used to figure out incredibly complex pieces of music with an album. They'd have to drag their finger on to slow it down and pick out phrases by going over and over and over again, or finding exactly where on the record something was. Why? Because they loved it and they wanted to do it and they wanted to learn it right. You can get an MP3 of something, throw it into any DAW software. I mean, about 1 billion free pieces of speed software. You can slow it down. You can narrow it down to tiny pieces at a time, create a loop out of it, pitch it. If your instrument is detuned, pitch it to your individual tuning even. Get the absolute perfect, just flawless environment to be able to learn this in. One tiny section at a time, perfectly in pitch, slowed down as much as you want. There's no excuse. I mean, you could sit there and just break it out 3 notes at a time. Just do that. You can, again, go on YouTube, watch these players play it, hear it with more clarity, listen to live recordings. There's no reason. The time for tabs to be an argument would have been, I don't know, 1975. With the amazing amount of technology that we have, the multiple different versions of audio that you can have, being the album version, the live video performance, instructional videos, all this stuff, there's no reason for it. Yet I keep seeing people constantly, do you have the tabs for this? Can you tab this out? Or I give them a challenge and I can't learn that. It's too complicated. It's this or that. Even if they get isolated tracks half the time, they still say they can't learn it, which, I mean, just hang it up as far as music. If that's really the end point you've gotten to, if you have an isolated track of your instrument that you can pitch correct, that you can slow down, speed up, isolate into small loops for section upon section learning until you're completed, and you still can't bring yourself to figure it out on yourself, man, you're on the wrong road. It's time to look into, I don't know, auto mechanics, something. The tiniest bit of devotion it takes to be able to do that when it's being handed to you on a silver platter. And the best part is, you have all that stuff available to you and you'll get it right because you'll develop your ear over time. And you'll be able to correct yourself as your ear develops. When you go back and listen to earlier things, maybe you were a little off, you'll suddenly recognize it. And then you get, again, another boost of self-confidence and achievement because right there you see, I've grown. My pitch is even better. My recognition of playing style is even better because now I hear a flaw in something I did earlier and I can correct it. I see my own evolution. Don't shortchange yourself. Tabs aren't just crap, they're harmful. You deserve better than that. Be good at what you do, apply it, and become an actual musician. People who aren't injured don't need a crutch. Stop propping yourself up with it. So, as always, I'm sure there's going to be an interesting number of comments. I've put every argument in here. I don't see how much there's going to be as far as fight back on it and everything. But I say all this for your benefit. I'm open in the comments, though. But as far as talk on it, I've laid it out. I've put it in another video. I've answered it in comments. And this is the final statement on it. Tabs are crap. I've proven it here. That's all there is to it. So take pride in yourself. Take pride in what you do. Work at it. Have that sense of achievement and have a good time doing music. If you love it so much, you want to spend time on it. So put that time in. In any case, I'll see you down in the comments. I appreciate it. Like, subscribe, and share. That helps this stuff get out to people, and maybe we can change some minds. So that's going to wrap it up here. I appreciate you taking the time to listen, even if you probably didn't like some tough love, and I will see you on the next one.